Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today, we're going to restore a Johnny Lightning triple threat. Now, this is one of the original Johnny Lightnings back when they first started business. It's a pretty wild-looking ride. I mean, you get 3 full-blown engines there. It's got a lot of paint missing, and it's a little bit worn out, but the tires are in good shape. The engines are in good shape. They just need to be cleaned up, maybe repainted. The body needs to be repainted, and the bottom of the base is oxidized, so we're definitely going to have to address that and clean it up. Now, the thing is with these cars is that they're very simplistic. There's not a lot to them. That's why these videos with the Johnny Lightnings are not that long. But we're still going to have a lot of fun with it. So let's get it drilled apart, and we'll go from there. And stick around. Let's have some fun with this. I've already drilled out the post. Now the posts on these cars are super thin, so you got to really be careful. And I'm going to use the 1-72 tap set to take care of these screws, or at least that size of screw, because the posts are so small and so narrow. Here we're taking the car apart. We pull the engines off, and the exhaust pipes are made out of a soft plastic, so they're pretty flexible. But those are usually the things that go missing on the car. Now again, here the windshield is pinched in place, riveted in place, whatever you want to call it. But there's also a big gap in between the windshield and the body. That's just the way Johnny Lightning did their cars, folks. I mean, they did that with most of the cars they did. They weren't as accurate, or they tried to make them look like real cars, etc. So that's why you've got the big gaps in the windshields and things like that. The parts are in fairly good shape, but we still have to clean them up and take care of them, repaint them, etc. But at least all the parts are there. So let's go ahead and start by, let's work on the base first for a change. Here we've got the base. We're going to put it in a mixture of lime-away and water, a 50-50 mixture. Now I'm going to let that sit in there for approximately like 3 minutes and maybe to 4 minutes, but keep an eye on it. And then we're going to get in there with a scrub brush. Now this lime-away mixture, it has muriatic acid in there, so you definitely don't want to get this on your skin or you're going to wind up getting burns. I wear safety glasses, and whatever I'm handling the car with, I also wear some rubber gloves. So please make sure you do this to protect yourself. There's your safety tip for today. We've let that sit in there for approximately 3 minutes. Now we're going to get the brass brush. And sometimes I'll use a steel brush, but most of the time I'll use a brass brush because it's a lot more forgiving and doesn't scratch, and it's not as harsh or abrasive. So I like to use the brass brush. I'll scrub it down, try and get off as much of the tarnish as you can. Now, if you want to later on, you can go back in and you can buff it up if you want to make it shiny. But the base on this is a little bit rough. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to future videos. Now, I'm going to try and do as many of these Johnny Lightning cards as I can. And the reason I do that is because everybody has seen a lot of times where people do Camaros and Dodge Chargers and all kinds of things like that. The regular Redline Hot Wheels, which I love. I absolutely love them. And I will do more videos of those. But I'm trying to mix things up and keep things fresh to hopefully keep folks interested in the channel. Now, I've got a bunch of other videos coming out. More Johnny Lightnings. I've got more Redlines coming up. But we'll have as much fun as we possibly can. Make sure you leave your comments for anything you would like to see me do in the future. So please leave your comments. Yes, my wife is an absolute freak. She at least tolerates me doing this thing, though, so we have fun. Here's the base. It's all cleaned up. Once we scrubbed it down, we went ahead and we cleaned it up with water. Now we're going to put the body in the citrus strip. Now, once we get this cleaned up, the body itself was in pretty good shape. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take a mixture of Spectre Flame paint. We've got green And we're going to add some Spectre Flame Blue to it to try and get as close as we can to the color of the original Johnny Lightning. It is going to be off, but you know, I didn't want to spend a ton of time with it. So it's going to look really cool, and it's going to look really nice and shiny too. So mix up your own colors with your Spectre Flame paints. Now, if you don't have green and you don't have orange and like that, mix them up with the Spectre Flame colors that you got. You'll have a bunch of fun with it, I promise. Just make sure you mix up enough, because if you don't, you got to mix up more, well, it's liable to look different. So here we kind of got a dark aqua, or like a dark blue-green, but it's really, really nice looking. Make sure you put your tack coat on, and the bodies on these cars are not very big, so you're not going to have to mix up a whole bunch of paint. Make sure you get the undersides, or places at least that you can see with the car if you happen to have it in your hands, and flip it over. But get a real nice light coat and go over it, and it'll look sweet, I promise. Just don't get any runs in there. If you spray too much paint, you'll get your runs. That color's looking pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that. That's really cool. Excellent. Here we've got all of our parts. We got the body. Look at that color. It turned out sweet. Very happy with that. The base is all cleaned up. We still have to go in and touch up the wheels a little bit around the chrome. But the problem is that there's no replacement parts. Now these engines, we're going to do up the bases of the engines, and then we're going to redo the top of them with a Molotow chrome pen. We polished up the windshield, and this is what we started with. Now again, like I said, these videos aren't too long because the cars aren't too complicated. There's not a lot of parts, and there's not a lot of things to do on them. Now if I was replacing the wheels and all that stuff on there, then the videos would be a little bit longer. But since we didn't have to do that, the videos are a little bit shorter, so you get to sit through the whole thing. So the body here was all flea bitten, got a little nibbles out of the paint and like that. The engine had to be redone. The chrome on the engine had to be redone for sure. The wheels, we had to touch up the chrome on those. The windshield had to be polished, but this is a really cool car. It's a little bit of the fantasy stuff, and some people don't like the fantasy cars. But again, it's a Johnny Lightning, and that's the way they came. This is part of Diecast history, folks, and here's what we're trying to keep that history to let you know. And this is what we came to. Look at the beautiful paint. That dark aqua blue color is absolutely stunning. The wheels look great. The engines we re-chromed with a Molotow chrome pen, and we put the exhaust pipes back in. Again, those are a soft plastic, so they are what they are. But man, this car turned out really nice. I'm very pleased with the results, and it's a lot of fun. Now, Johnny Lightnings right now, like on eBay and places like that, they're still fairly reasonable because there's not a lot of demand for them. The prices of the Hot Wheels have gone absolutely stupid on eBay, and I'm glad that I bought a bunch of them years ago and started saving them up for when I was going to start doing my channel. But, man, I'm really happy with the way this car turned out. Excellent. I've got a Patreon page, and I'd like to thank my Grim Reaper level members, William K7 Robinson and Dale Johnson. My Mortician level guys, Jake Rademacher, Sam Pascal, Air Warrior Coffee Company, Ed Ostrander, and Adam Bowen. My Gravedigger level, check out new member Double B Customs, his Facebook page, and Keith Kripe. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining the Diecast Graveyard team. My Hearst driver level, Jim Silva, check out his page, and Richard over at Michio Woods Garage. Thank you so much for joining me here at Diecast Graveyard today, and we had a lot of fun with this car. Please leave your comments in the comment section, and let me know what you'd like to see or if you have anything you'd like to find out. Thanks for joining me here today. Cheers.